What's up, y'all? It's your boy, John Darko Chapman. And yeah, we're here again. Welcome to Tri-State Photography and Video Group. And this time what I want to talk to you guys about is the first tutorial that I'm going to post. And like I said, I'm going to keep trying to give you guys some really cool tricks, some stuff that they're not showing. I'm amazed the one I'm getting ready to show is something that I only found like one tutorial on ever. And it was funny, the dude that put the tutorial up was not the best photographer in the world. But it is a crazy, crazy helpful tip. Everyone that I've shown this trick to, for the most part, has been crazy, crazy, happy, excited. Thank yous I keep getting for showing them this trick. Basically, what I'm going to show you guys today is how to take LUTs and add them into especially Lightroom and Photoshop. LUTs are a very common thing in Photoshop, but not so much Lightroom. So there's a way to do it through the profile feature in Lightroom and in Photoshop Camera Raw. And when I show you this trick, I guarantee you're going to be like, oh God, thank you. I love this trick, especially in Lightroom, because what it does is it allows you to not be able to have to rely on presets so much, as well as like when you add a preset, right? Let's say like a Visco preset or something like that. It moves everything around in Lightroom and in Camera Raw. And so now you got to go back and adjust things, play around and try and get things to where you want, let alone you can't add another one because then it will move everything again and you kind of can't do anything. I've seen some times where people have been able to add like Visco presets and add more than one, and it will change a few things, and then the other one, because it just doesn't change as much in the other preset or whatever, doesn't change as much. But you still got to go in and adjust like crazy and all this other stuff. So I just found them not to be helpful and kind of more cumbersome while using presets and stuff in especially Adobe Lightroom. Not so much in Photoshop because you can do so much more in Photoshop, but in Lightroom especially, just kind of a pain in the ass. So once I learned this trick, it helped so much because it allowed me to add the LUT and get the LUT exactly kind of how I want it, and you can do kind of a very light adjustment on it, but it doesn't mess with everything else in Lightroom. And then it makes it super easy for me to then add any kind of other preset that I want on top of it, even if I wanted to do that, and then I can play from there and do even more. So I was just dumbfounded on how well this particular trick is that I'm surprised just so many people don't know about. And I think one of the reasons that most people don't know about it is because you have to enter it through Photoshop Camera Raw first before you can enter it into Lightroom. So for those of you who don't have Photoshop or Camera Raw, fortunately you're kind of asked out of this trick. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know too many people now, especially with what Adobe offers with the monthly billing and so forth, how you kind of don't have Photoshop and Lightroom. I think it's a combo pack you can do now for, it was only like, I think it's $20 a month. And if you haven't done that, I suggest you do that because you need both. I'm sorry. And if you haven't learned some stuff, I understand 100% why you would focus on Lightroom. Lightroom helps so much with batch editing and things like that. If you're a wedding photographer, something like that, completely understandable why you would only be using Lightroom and not Photoshop. But just there's so much more you can do with Photoshop because of being able to manipulate layers that you can't do in Lightroom that kind of doesn't make sense that you don't have both and shouldn't be able to use both. So if you don't know already, Adobe does have a package for that. I'm not under or affiliated with Adobe by any way. So you got to go to Adobe to find that out. But you should be able, if you're already, for instance, like let's say you're doing like the $10 a month package for Lightroom, you can easily upgrade. It's $20, but dude, having Photoshop and Lightroom and being able to play anytime you want, it's kind of needed, as well as having them for mobile. So yeah, I would definitely suggest you doing that. All right. But without further ado, I'm going to show you how to do this trick and then we'll go from there. Okay. So let's just jump right into it. And yeah, so first things first, to pull off this trick, you do need to have Photoshop. So if you only have Lightroom, you're pretty much not going to be able to pull off this trick. Granted, I do not know why, as I said earlier, you wouldn't have Lightroom and Photoshop. You really do need both. There's just certain stuff that you can't pull off in Lightroom that you can in Photoshop. It just is what it is. You should have both. You should learn both. That's just my take on it. But anyway, so basically the way it works is we're pretty much going to go right from filter into camera raw. All right. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the options menus and these tabs here, and we're going to go to presets. Okay. So this is if you're using the newer versions to Photoshop 2020, 2021, I think even 2019. It's like this on the side. If you have an older version of Photoshop, CS6 or something like that, the menu will probably be here on the top. Pretty much you just want to look for presets, okay? Now, once you click into presets, all right, you're going to see this tab right here, right? It says create presets. Now, if I just hit the tab normally, if I just click on the tab, you're going to get this kind of option for the presets. This is for adjusting the presets, okay, or creating your own presets. That's not what we want. All right, so to get to this menu, you got to it's kind of a secret thing. You need to hit Alt or Option. Hold down Alt or hold down Option and then hit the same tab again. Now you're going to have a menu that says Create Profile, okay? So this is kind of where we're going to create our LUT, basically, or add our LUT, I should say, into the camera profile for Lightroom and also Camera Raw. So what you want to do first is go to group and create a group. I already have the group here that I created for this. It's called Cinema LUTs, right? So if you're going to create a new group, you'll hit new group and then you can just type in whatever the group is. All right. And then we're going to put the name of the actual LUT that we're creating, which I actually don't know what I'm going to name it yet. All right, so all of this stuff that you see here, current image settings, advanced settings, tool table, you're not going to use any of that. The only one you're going to worry about is color lookup table. All right, so we're going to click on that tab. As soon as you click on that tab, a menu is going to come up. Your menu probably won't start where mine is because I already have done things. So I'm just going to go back to the original desktop. So wherever you click on the menu, you basically want to go to whatever folder that you have your LUTs, your cube files saved in, all right? For me, I'm going to go to, you see PSD files here, and you see I got LUTs, all right? So I'm just going to go to some LUTs that I have here, and I'm going to click on one. Let's see here. What do I want to do? See, I got all kinds of fun stuff here. Matter of fact, let's go here. I'm going to go to this LUT that I like here called Spy. I'm going to hit load. Okay. As soon as you load it up, you see you have all these other options for amount, max, samples, all that kind of stuff. You can change this if you want. I'm really not going to change anything. It's fine the way it is. You have a bar to adjust things. Some people like to take the amount down or the max down for percentage. So it's just a little lighter when they load it in. That's pretty much up to you. From here, we're going to name it. I'm going to name it the same as what it's called, Spy, and hit OK. All right. And then there you go. It's loaded in and so forth. Now, I don't remember what, should have looked at where I put it. All right. So if we go here to Profile and we click here, all right, we can see where the LUT is. So you see here, it's Spy, all right? Now you should save it within the group. So I'm gonna see if I can move it to the group. I can't move it to the group. If I right click, let me see, add, here we go, move profile. I'm gonna move the profile to my Cinema LUTs, hit okay. And there we go. So in my Cinema LUTs, you see here, I got two here that I added. Okay, so we're going to now cancel out of that. All right, we're going to pretty much leave Photoshop, and I'm going to go right over to Lightroom. All right, Lightroom's loading up. And bada bing. Okay, so you see here, I already got the same picture loaded up. And from here, we're going to go and add in. So first things first, what I want to show you guys is what adding a profile like this, adding a LUT does to Lightroom. And what it does is it kind of gives you an extra layer to play with, especially if I know some of you who work off of Lightroom like to use the presets in Lightroom and things like that. So now I can go in, I can literally click on whatever preset I want, right? So this is kind of a vintagey visco preset, right? I can now adjust this preset, kind of get it to the way I want, right? So we're just gonna make a couple quick adjustments here, nothing crazy. All right, actually, take that back to 10. I'm doing this pretty quickly. So forth, all right? There's more I can do, but we'll just leave it like that for now. Bing, whatever. Okay. So now if I go up here to the profile, so there's a bit of the profile that's in the preset that's here, but I can change the profile, and I'm going to change it to the one that we clicked on, Spy, right? So now we got this like intense orange and teal. You can use the slider and control how much of it we want. We're just going to put it kind of subtly, right? Cool. And then now I can still go in and make adjustments, right? And it's not affecting the preset that we added, right? Now, why is this such a big deal? Because of how Lightroom works and the fact that Lightroom doesn't work off of layers, this kind of gives us an added layer to play with to kind of achieve some of the results that we want to achieve. The difference is if I tried to go and add another preset, right? So if I try and add a preset on top of this, what's going to happen is it's going to switch everything around again in all the adjustments that I just made. All right, let's get rid of that. That's why it's so cool and important of this effect of adding the profile up here. Because now I can add this adjustment without it affecting everything that I already did, and I can kind of keep going. So that makes it a very powerful tool and something to use. Now I can just use the LUTs sometimes if I want. I can just use the presets if I want, and now I can use them together and create an even more effect of what I'm trying to pull off. So because of this, I just feel this is a very, very good trick and unique tool to use that is very helpful. Adding LUTs as well as presets sometimes can help you really achieve some looks you're looking fast, especially for things when you're doing like weddings and batch editing and things like that. So, you know, hope this was helpful, and yeah, go from there. Okay, so that's about it. That's pretty much how you do the trick. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you guys end up using that, and we go from there. And, you know, good luck with everything. Also, I wanted to add LUTs in general. I'm going to cover LUTs on another segment. We'll go over a little bit more of how certain things in camera profiles and LUTs and things like that work. LUTs are basically, I forget what the abbreviation stands for again, but LUTs basically are a way for you to be able to add profiles, add custom presets in a sense of different color grades. There are literally millions of LUTs out there now. All kinds of companies sell them. I can't sit here and give you any particular ones that are better than others. They all have so many different looks to them and everything else for different reasons. But I do think everybody should invest a little bit in LUTs as well as creating your own LUTs. It's pretty easy to do. I use them and flip them back and forth between video and photography. I use them in both. So I'll be going over more of that later and how you can really play with more LUTs and things like that to create a lot of the looks and do custom ones and make them yourself. All right. So with that, I'm your boy, John Darko Chapman, signing off, Tri-State Photography and Video Group. Till next time.